Seems like every year the football season goes by a little bit faster. Maybe that's just how getting older goes. I don't know. But it's already week number 7. And with the bye week in the rearview mirror, it's 12 weeks, 12 games. And it starts this week in the Midwest, where the Dolphins make their first trip to Indianapolis since 2019. For this week's difference makers, I want to go right to the marquee, the position that everybody starts just about every game with, the quarterbacks. For the Colts, head coach Shane Steichen had the expectation this week, without any setbacks, that it will be the 4th pick of the 2023 NFL Draft back in the lineup for the Colts with Anthony Richardson. Now, he has one of the more fascinating profiles for an NFL quarterback I have ever seen. Coming out of Florida, he had just 400 dropbacks as a collegian. Then, as a rookie, he put the league on notice with his unmatched physical skill set, but was once again robbed of the opportunity to earn those valuable reps as an injury ended his season at just 4 games and 100 reps at the quarterback position. Sunday will be his first action of the 2024 season since week 4 of last year, or rather of this year, I should say, when he suffered the hip injury that sidelined him each of the last 2 weeks. Both of those were Colts victories. As a starter this year, it's been much of the same. Some incredible, highlight-worthy plays and some growing pains as he continues to develop as a professional quarterback. The Dolphins have to find a way to make the struggles continue as he enters with a completion percentage of just over 50% and a 3-to-6 touchdown to interception ratio. Let's hope the sleeping giant stays in his slumber because at his best, Anthony Richardson is a playmaker that can make every throw and beat you with his legs. On the other side, the Dolphins uncovered their own power running game prior to the bye week. But if they can pair a more efficient passing attack, that should complement a run game and defense that's on the right track right now. I'm most interested to see what the bye week did for quarterback Tyler Huntley. We heard from head coach Mike McDaniel, wide receiver Jalen Waddle, really the entire onslaught of Dolphins offensive personnel, that Huntley really maximized the bye week for himself. Typically, in a given week, there's really only time to get ready for an opponent on that coming Sunday, but during your bye week, there is time to peel back the curtain, do some self-scouting, and retrain some fundamentals. Monday, McDaniel alluded to that, discussing the diligent work of his quarterback over the bye week to drill his footwork of the position. Quick lesson time. The footwork of the quarterback is always tied to the timing of the routes for the receivers, and quite frankly, the best offenses in this sport, the routes are dictated based on what the quarterback's drop is. So that's all kind of coming together here for Huntley this week. That's why you saw Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, and the whole gang last year go up and down the field at will. They had banked thousands of reps together and were consistently on the same page. We saw the timing and connection get better with Huntley and his receivers between weeks 4 and 5 against the Titans and Patriots. Now with the bye week, I'm excited to see how much more calibrated everything on offense can be, especially if they go back to the well of a 200-yard rushing day. It makes everything easier when you run the ball that well, especially against a Colts defense that has surrendered 200-plus rushing yards twice this year, and they rank 20th in success rate against the run at 60.2%. Another lesson here, success rate is just a way of determining each play as a win or loss for either side of the ball. It's defined based upon the yards gained on a given down. For instance, on 1st and 10, 40% of the yards to gain is a win for the offense, so a 3-yard run is a win for the defense. On 2nd down, that mark is half the yardage for a first down, and then on 3rd and 4th down, it's a pass or fail grade. Did you get the first down or did you not? Pass or fail. It's a big matchup for both teams here. The Colts are riding high after winning on the road in the division, just as the Dolphins did a week ago with their own bye week to rest from a first month of the season that was filled with plenty of adversity. For Miami, getting back to 3-3 would feel like sort of a reset on the early part of the season, especially for a team that's slowly getting healthier. What is up, Dolph fans, and welcome back into the Baptist Health Studios for our first game-winning drive breakdown here on Dolphins HQ, and it begins early 4th quarter up in New England, 1st and 20 here for the Dolphins, and they're going to come out in an I formation with an offset tight end, and what that does here is creates a 8-man box for the Patriots, which is pretty rare these days, but what that's going to afford you is the opportunity for a one-on-one matchup here for Tyreek Hill, and that is exactly where the ball goes. We go ahead and start here with some motion, which indicates zone coverage. Why do you know that's zone coverage? Because nobody travels with the motion man, so he gets picked up in zone. And you're also going to see the single high coverage here for the Patriots. The deep safety is playing way off, protecting the sticks here on this 1st and 20 play for the Dolphins, as they're going to run Tyreek Hill on a little curl route here in behind the hook zone. So what does that mean? You're trying to influence these linebackers right here to get false steps forward And that's exactly what they get on the play action look. So fake the handoff right here to Jalen Wright, sucks this linebacker up, creates this vacancy, and that is exactly where Tyreek Hill will operate to, and Huntley finds him with the football to move the chains on 1st and 20 for a critical drive starting play. And that's going to have an impact on this drive later on, as the Dolphins will get a similar look against the Patriots defense and run the ball into a too high look the Patriots run later on. I also want to go ahead and show you guys real quick the offensive line, and this is kind of a principle of the Dolphins here and what they run under Mike McDaniel and Frank Smith, is how they fire off the football. Most times when teams are passing the ball, the offensive line works backwards in true drop back passing form. But here, these guys fire off the ball. They want to run off the ball every single snap, and then it kind of becomes this wall of protection about a yard downfield, which creates a great pocket for your quarterback. So offensive line gets it done, play design gets it done, Tyreek gets open, Huntley finds him with the ball, move the chains, and move the ball down the field to go win the game. We go to this 2nd down play later on in the drive. More motion there from Alec Ingold, back in that I formation set once again, and this time the Patriots are in their single high coverage. You got 8 men in the box, one-on-one coverage on the outside again, so you get that same look, but now we can run the football against that look. We'll go ahead and go to the tight copy here and show you exactly what I mean by this. So this little wide alignment here from Julian Hill, see this gap right here between him and the left tackle, Teron Armstead? It's much wider than all these gaps across the offensive line. And what that does is creates a little bit of conflict for these two defenders who will ultimately be the guys that the Dolphins get pushed off the ball and create the situation for a big run here for Jalen Wright. So here comes Alec Ingold in motion, and I want you to watch the way Jalen Wright really extends this track and takes it wide. The ability for Ingold to kind of widen that lane as well creates this gap for Wright to exploit. So press it, force that defender to play over the top. You get this great seal from Julian Hill that creates a run here for Alec Ingold, who then gets inside. Wright puts his cleats in the ground, hits that gap, and Ingold's there for the seal block. So you get some really good work off the edge there. You also get a really nice seal here from Teron Armstead, from Rob Jones, as well as Aaron Brewer on the inside. And the Dolphins' right side of the line has some tough reach blocks to hit, but they do enough of a good job on those blocks to hold them to create this gap for Wright, and then you just have special running ability right there. Break an arm tackle, put your foot in the ground, run through a tackle right there, get extra yards for the Dolphins offense. And our third play from the breakdown is the final one here, the last big run of the Dolphins on this drive, and they kind of earned this look with what we showed you earlier in this breakdown. What I'm talking about with that is you see the safety bell out here at the end. They're going to go into a split high look, which creates what? A lighter box inside to run the football with, and that is exactly what the Dolphins will do here. And they're going to get hat on a hat, good blocks at that first level, and spring their speedy veteran stud running back Raheem Mostert into the second level here with some great blocks all across the board. I want you to look here first, starting at the center against Aaron Brewer, the Dolphins center, and this block he makes right here. He kind of bluffs the combination block with Liam Eichenberg, and it gets him off balance enough to where it makes Liam's pancake block even easier to execute. And on top of that, it creates a second level climb here for Brewer to go make that second level attachment. I mean, what more do you want? We've been talking about it every single week. The Dolphins running backs have had lanes like this all year long to run through, and that's going to be an explosive play every single time when you cut it up that way. You get a good block here from Rob Jones to go ahead and seal that 5 technique. Armstead kicks out wide here. You get a good block from Austin Jackson, and the combination with Durham Smythe right there allows Austin to climb to the second level right here and get that second level seal. Raheem sets this block up really well by pressing that track off the right side right there, and that creates that room inside to make that run. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that. The Dolphins earned these looks with how they attack this entire drive through the passing game and through the running game with Raheem, with Wright, with the pass to Tyreek Hill, and ultimately it creates a 15-play game-winning drive where the Dolphins take the lead and don't give it back and beat the Patriots. So run game, pass game, create the looks you want. Miami had it all cooking on that game-winning drive. Don't you just love the NFL? A league where people like me and the fans alike, we spend all spring and summer debating what we think will happen between the months of September and December, draw up all these predictions and thoughts about who's going to do what, and then all of that tends to get turned on its head before Halloween even arrives. The AFC East was lauded as one of the best divisions in football coming into the season, and make no mistake, it still very well could become just that. But with 3 teams from up north, the Bills, Jets, and Patriots, having 6 games under their belts and just 5 for the good guys down here in South Florida, it's been a relatively slow start considering those expectations coming into the new campaign. The Bills stormed out of the gates looking like world beaters with 3 straight wins, and 2 of those coming in blowout fashion. They slowed the previous 2 games with a blowout on the other side against Baltimore, 35-10 back in Week 4, and dropped their Week 5 game in Houston. They've dealt with their own fair share of injuries with key parts of their defense missing, and an offense that's still working its way through finding its identity. That might just be via the ground attack, despite the fact that they have one of the game's best quarterbacks in number 17, Josh Allen. They did get back on track with a massive win on Monday Night Football over the New York Jets to create a bit of a cushion atop the division, and perhaps at just the right time. They'll see Seattle, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Rams, and Lions all on the schedule over the next 8 weeks. But at 4-2, they lead second place Miami by 1.5 games with the head-to-head tiebreaker as well, which could make that Week 9 matchup in Buffalo massively important for either side. On the other side of Monday's meeting, the Jets, who have lost 3 consecutive games after a 2-1 start. During their losing streak, they dismissed head coach Robert Saleh and promoted Jeff Ulbrich, who coached his first game on Monday against the Bills. For the Jets, offense has been very difficult to come by. Heading into Monday's game against the Bills, the offense was in the bottom third in scoring, yards, and EPA and success rate. With just 4.5 yards per play, the Jets entered Week 6, the 29th ranked offense in terms of play-by-play efficiency. It'll be interesting to see how the defense responds to the coaching change for the Jets. Entering the Bills game, the Jets ranked second in total defense and had the best yards per play rate in the league at 4.3 a pop. Now, where they can give ground is, well, on the ground. The New York run defense ranks 18th in success rate allowed. And if you're looking for the carbon copy for how the Dolphins could attack in those Week 14 and 18 matchups, which are a long ways away, look no further than the Week 1 tilt against the Niners, where San Francisco did what Miami has done in previous games against the Jets, running the football off the perimeter. In fact, in that Niners game and the 2 Dolphins games from 2023, the Jets allowed better than 6 yards per carry when those 2 teams ran the ball off tackle, outside. So going in order for the division here, the Dolphins are up next. Now, this probably isn't breaking any news to our audience here, which I imagine is exclusively Dolphins fans, but it's been a bit of a challenging start to the season, and that goes hand in hand with losing your quarterback in game number 2. A tough task for any team, especially when that quarterback was, by every metric imaginable, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL last season. The upshot, and perhaps a silver lining for Miami, depending on how the season goes, this could have provided the Dolphins with an opportunity, or rather the necessity, to look to other avenues to win football games. We talked about the success of the run game. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world to lean on a backfield stable of Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, and Jalen Wright to keep breaking teams down and forcing them out of the en vogue too high structures that have permeated across the NFL in recent years and really limited big plays in the passing game. On top of that, a defense that just continues to gel more and more each week, getting third down stops and having plenty of success in the red zone. This team ranks near the top of the league in both of those categories. I think these next few games could really tell us who the Dolphins are going to be in 2024. Finally, the Patriots, who have a bit of a shimmering light amid a challenging season so far through the first 6 games. Since their opening day win, the Patriots have dropped 5 straight, but got their first real look at rookie quarterback Drake May. In his debut start, the number 3 pick of the 2024 draft, threw 3 touchdown passes in the 41-21 loss to the Houston Texans. Now, this did come in a game where the Patriots were down 33-14 at the start of the 4th quarter, but a franchise quarterback can change literally everything, and the Patriots are in the early stages of finding out exactly what May can be for them, not just this year, but long term. Defensively, the 41 points we mentioned against the Texans, that might be difficult to turn around just because of the attrition on that side of the football. First-year head coach Gerard Mayo has been without stars and Jenga pieces alike all over that side. Pieces like Christian Barmore, Jawan Bentley. They traded Matt Judon back in August. Those are probably 3 of their best offensive players, all been gone the entire season. All things told, football seasons are very, very long, and we are just getting started here in 2024. I'm sure we're going to see plenty more twists and turns as we progress into the holiday season, but as it stands right now, the AFC East, it looks like it's anybody's for the taking. That wraps up this edition of Dolphins HQ from the Baptist Hill Studios here in Miami Gardens. For more from me, check out the Drive Time podcast. I'm dropping 5 episodes every week in season, providing more complete coverage of your Miami Dolphins. throughout the season. For more on the Dolphins throughout this year as well, our YouTube channel is packed with media availabilities, new episodes of Mic'd Up, game speed, recaps, and more highlights of your favorite players every single week. Enjoy an exciting weekend of football, and we'll see you when we see you. It's next week. We'll see you next week.